You didn't stumble here. I've been walking with you all along. Even when you thought you were lost, even when the path beneath your feet felt unsure and the night seemed to swallow every bit of hope, you were not wandering alone. I was guiding every step, even through the silence. You see, nothing in your life has been random. Nothing you've endured has been overlooked. I saw the tears you didn't speak of. I heard the prayers you whispered through clenched teeth and broken breath. And I want you to hear me now. You didn't come this far by accident. I led you with purpose. You've been carrying a weight, haven't you? The kind that settles deep in the chest and doesn't leave, even when you smile. You've questioned your worth, doubted your direction, and wondered if all the pain has any meaning. You've tried to stay strong for everyone around you, but inside, there's been a quiet cry for clarity, for a sign, for something real. And here I am. Not a coincidence, not a fleeting emotion. I am the God who called you by name, before you even had one. I am the one who formed you, watched over you in your mother's womb, and who walked beside you through the years when no one else stayed. There are moments in your life that felt like detours, disappointments, or even disasters. You thought, why did this happen? Why did they leave? Why did I fail? But those weren't the end of your story. They were places where I was planting seeds, not building walls. They were moments of divine interruption, where your plans were paused so that my purpose could prevail. Nothing was wasted. Not the heartbreak, not the silence, not even the things you wish you could erase. I've used it all. I'm still using it. You've walked through fire and thought it would consume you. But look, you're still here. You thought the darkness would win, but somehow, light kept creeping in. That somehow was me. Every time your strength gave out, I was the one holding you together. You may not have seen me clearly then, but I was closer than your next breath, anchoring your soul so you wouldn't drown. I know the burden you carry, the fear that maybe you've missed it, that maybe it's too late, that maybe you're too far gone or too broken to matter anymore. But I'm telling you now, your story isn't finished. You're not too late. You're right on time. Because where you are now is not a dead end. It's the beginning of a deeper journey with me. One where you'll finally see the purpose behind the pain, the beauty beyond the ashes, and the strength that was being built in the silence. You are not forgotten. I haven't overlooked your suffering. I haven't delayed out of cruelty. There's been a reason. There's been a perfect timing being written into every detail. And now, I'm whispering this truth to your soul. You were chosen, not by chance, but by divine design. Everything in your life has been leading you to this moment of awakening, where you begin to see yourself the way I've always seen you, not as a failure, not as forgotten, but as a masterpiece in process. If you're tired, come to me. If you're confused, let me bring clarity. If you're angry, I can take your questions. If you're broken, I'm the one who still heals. I'm not repelled by your mess. I'm moved by your honesty. There's nothing you can say that will make me pull away. I've already seen it all, and I've chosen you anyway. So breathe for a moment. Let my presence surround you. I'm not asking you to figure everything out. I'm asking you to lean into me, even with your doubts, because I have not brought you this far to leave you stranded. What I started in you, I will complete. This isn't just about surviving anymore. It's about stepping into the life you were always meant to live, with freedom, with purpose, with me leading the way. I know how heavy it's been. I know the nights you couldn't sleep and the mornings you wished you didn't have to face. But through every moment, I've been present. And now I want you to know that everything is shifting. The winds are changing. And what's ahead of you is greater than what's behind. You didn't arrive here by chance. You were led, hand in hand, step by step. I've been with you, and I still am. This is the beginning of a new chapter, one written by my hand, sealed by my love, and carried by my strength? That ache in your chest? I see it, and I'm about to fill it with peace. The questions you've buried, I'm about to answer them in ways you never imagined. The doors that felt forever closed. Watch. Some are about to open, and others will fall off their hinges. Not because you forced them, but because I ordained it. Nothing in your story has been accidental. You've been led on purpose, for purpose. And I'm just getting started. I see you reading this, wondering if maybe this really is for you. Let me be clear, it is. I'm not speaking in generalities. I'm speaking directly to you. You've been waiting for a word that feels alive, that pierces through the fog you've been walking in. This is that word. I'm not distant. I'm not abstract. I'm closer than your thoughts, closer than your breath. I know exactly where you are, and I have not changed my mind about you. Not even once. You might think that you've disappointed me, that somehow your past disqualified you, that I'm waiting for you to get everything together before I can use you or bless you. But hear me. That's not how I operate. I'm not like people. I don't love based on performance. I don't choose based on perfection. I look at the heart, and yours has been crying out for something real. Even when your actions were inconsistent, your soul was reaching for me. I've seen it. I felt it. And I want you to know I've never left your side. You may feel like you've been in a season of silence, where prayers echo back unanswered, and you start to wonder if I'm still listening. But I've never stopped hearing you. Silence isn't absence. Sometimes it's protection. Sometimes it's preparation. I haven't been punishing you. I've been positioning you. There are things I've kept hidden from you not because I want to frustrate you, but because I'm preparing something far better than what you would have settled for. Trust that I'm not a god of halfway answers or broken promises. If I said I would do it, I will. But I will also do it in the right time, in the right way, for the right reasons. I know how easy it is to look at your life and only see what's missing. The delays, the disappointments, the doors that didn't open. You begin to wonder if you're the problem. Let me silence that lie right now. You're not the problem. You're in process. And there is purpose even in what you don't understand yet. I haven't withheld anything from you out of punishment. I'm a father, a good one. And sometimes the greatest gifts are the ones I prepare in secret before revealing them. So your heart is ready to carry the weight of the blessing. Can I ask you something? What if you trusted me again? Not just in theory, not just on Sundays, but in the quiet spaces of your life where fear tries to take root. What if you let me rewrite the narrative you've believed? That you're always one step behind, always missing something, always trying to prove your worth? Because you don't have to prove anything to me. You already belong. You're already seen, already chosen, already loved. If you could see yourself through my eyes, you'd stop trying to earn what I've already given freely. There's so much more ahead of you than you can see right now. That's not just a feel-good phrase, it's truth. I planted dreams in your heart that haven't died, even if you buried them. I gave you visions that still breathe beneath the surface. And I haven't forgotten. If I placed it in you, I will bring it forth. But you must begin again, not by striving, but by trusting. Not by chasing, but by resting in me. That's where the shift begins. Not in your effort, but in your surrender. So here's my invitation. Come closer, not later. Now. Not when you feel more spiritual or more disciplined. Come now, as you are. You don't have to impress me. I'm not moved by your performance. I'm moved by your presence. Talk to me like you used to when you were young and unafraid to believe. Let me remind you of who you really are. Let me heal what others damaged. Let me rebuild the places that life tried to tear down. I am still the same God who spoke light into the darkness, and I am still speaking life into yours. You don't have to walk this road alone anymore. You never truly did. But I know it felt like that. And I'm not angry with you for the times you doubted me. I understand the weight of your pain. I felt every ounce of it with you. But now I want to lift it. Let me. Lay it down. You've carried it long enough. All I ask is that you take one step today. One step toward me. One prayer. One whisper. One moment of surrender. I can take it from there. I can do more with your little yes than you could ever do with your biggest plans. Because where your strength ends, mine begins. And I never fail. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for permission to enter, to restore, to move freely in your life. Will you let me? You didn't come this far by accident, and I didn't bring you this far to leave you now. There's more, so much more. And if you'll just walk with me, you'll see it unfold, beautifully, intentionally, miraculously. Not all at once, but moment by moment, as I lead you deeper into your destiny. There is a deep reason why your heart has been restless, why you've been caught in cycles of searching, rising, falling, and striving again. It's not weakness. It's not failure. It's the ache of your spirit trying to find its place again, in me. This world, with all its noise and demands, has pulled you in 1,000 directions. You've given your energy to people who didn't see your worth, to systems that never fed your soul, to dreams that weren't born in my heart for you. And now your soul is weary, not because you are lost, but because you've been disconnected from the source of life itself. The spiritual battle around you is real. You've felt it even when you couldn't name it. The anxiety that hits without warning, the sudden fear of the future, the weight you can't explain, even when life looks fine on the outside. It isn't just emotional exhaustion. It's spiritual warfare. The enemy has been working overtime to convince you that you are alone, that you are insignificant, that you've already missed your moment. He whispers lies that sound like your own thoughts. You're not enough. You're too late. You'll never change. God doesn't care. But I do care. And I'm telling you now, none of those voices speak for me. When I speak over you, it's life, it's truth, it's purpose. And the reason you've been feeling this tension is because I'm awakening your spirit again. You're not crazy. You're not overthinking. You are discerning the shift that's happening in the unseen. Something inside you knows that you were made for more than this survival mode. Something in you is crying out, there has to be more than this. And there is. There is more. There is depth. There is healing. There is clarity. But it begins in the spirit. You've tried to fix spiritual problems with physical solutions. You've filled your calendar to outrun the silence. You've poured into others to feel useful. You've kept yourself busy to avoid the ache. But the wound is not on the surface. It's in the soul. And only I can heal that place. I didn't just come to comfort your emotions. I came to restore your spirit, to break the chains you can't even see, to silence the voices that aren't yours, and to reestablish your identity in truth. You don't need another distraction. You need a divine interruption. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm interrupting the lies. I'm interrupting the fear. I'm interrupting the confusion that has settled in your mind like fog. You've been trying to move forward, but something always pulls you back. That's because the root wasn't dealt with. But I don't deal with symptoms. I deal with the source. And right now, I'm going deeper. I'm touching places that haven't been opened in a long time. Places of grief, of regret, of loneliness that you learn to hide even from yourself. I don't expose to shame you. I reveal so I can heal. I illuminate so I can restore. You were never meant to carry all of this alone. You were never meant to figure it all out without me. That was never the design. You were created to walk with me, breathe with me, move through life, connected to the divine power that formed you. And when you live apart from that, you survive, but you don't thrive. You cope, but you don't truly live. And I didn't send my son so you could just cope. I came to give life, and life more abundantly. So if you've been feeling like something is off, something is missing, that's not a sign of failure. It's a signal from heaven. It's your spirit awakening again. It's me knocking at the door of your heart, saying, "Let me back in. Let me lead. Let me heal what you stopped talking about. You don't have to pretend anymore. I don't need you to be polished. I need you to be present." This world has lied to you. It told you that your worth is in your performance, your appearance, your success, your relationships, and every time something didn't go right, it made you question who you are. But listen to me. You're not your pain. You're not your failure. You're not your fear. You are my beloved, my child, my creation. You were formed with intention, set apart with purpose, and marked by my spirit. The enemy knows this. That's why he's fought you so hard. But what he meant for harm, I am turning for good. Even now, I'm stirring things in your heart that you thought were long gone. Dreams you shelved, prayers you stopped praying, hopes you gave up on. That wasn't the end. It was just a pause. And now I'm breathing life into them again. I'm removing the residue of doubt, the bitterness of delay, the heaviness of disappointment. Because this next season isn't about just surviving the past, it's about stepping boldly into your calling. You're not spiritually dead. You're awakening. What you're feeling is a holy disruption, a divine call back to the source of life. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to be real. Bring me your pain, your questions, your fear. I can handle it. I want to. I love you that much, more than you've ever imagined. Let me show you who you are again. Let me bring peace to your inner storm. Let me remind you that this journey isn't random. It's sacred. You didn't come this far by accident. I've been leading you, even when it didn't feel like it. Even when you doubted it, I was there, and I still am. Let me reveal something to you that has been unfolding quietly beneath the surface of what you could see. While you've been waiting, wondering, even questioning if anything was happening, heaven has been moving. I've not been still. I've not been passive. I've been orchestrating details, aligning people, preparing moments, and shaping you from the inside out. This season has not been a pause. It has been a preparation. And now I am beginning to reveal what I promised. Slowly at first, like the rising of the sun after a long night, but unmistakably, faithfully, divinely. The promises I made over your life still stand. Not one word I spoke has been erased, and not one plan I've designed has been discarded. You may have let go, but I haven't. You may have stopped praying, but I've never stopped working. The vision I gave you, it wasn't a mistake. The desire I planted in your heart, it wasn't your imagination. I gave you glimpses so you would know what's possible with me, and I never tease you with hope. I lead you with it, and that hope is coming alive again. You've asked for signs, small confirmations that I'm still with you, still working, still leading. Some of those signs are already around you, but your eyes have been clouded by fatigue and fear. But I'm clearing your vision. I'm opening your spiritual eyes to see the evidence of my hand again. Watch closely. I'll confirm my word to you through unexpected people, through a word spoken at the right moment, through open doors you didn't even knock on. You will start to feel alignment in your spirit before you see it in the natural. That's how I work. I whisper peace before I release the breakthrough. Do you remember how many times you felt like giving up, but something inside told you to hold on just a little longer? That was me. Every time you almost quit, I strengthened you. Every time you sat in silence, feeling forgotten, I was writing a new chapter. And now those pages are turning. The story is shifting. And my promises are beginning to bloom, just as I said they would. Some of what is coming won't look like what you expected. It will be better. You thought I was delaying what you asked for, but I was upgrading it. You were praying for survival, but I'm bringing restoration. You were asking for a way out, but I've been creating a way through. I'm not just answering your prayer, I'm exceeding it. Because I am a God of abundance, not scarcity. I don't just give enough, I give more than enough. Not just to bless you, but to overflow through you to others. I want you to begin watching for the signs of my hand again. Begin expecting me in the ordinary, in conversations, in moments of stillness, in the quiet nudges of your heart. That idea that won't let you go, that dream that keeps rising to the surface, that sense of peace that suddenly rests on you when you're not even sure why. Those are signs. Those are the language of my spirit within you. You don't have to chase wild signs in the sky. I'm not hiding. I'm revealing. And I speak in ways that your soul will recognize. I also want you to notice how your heart is changing. That is one of the greatest signs of my presence. The shift that happens on the inside before anything changes outside. You're beginning to feel more alive again. Hope is no longer something distant. It's returning like breath to your lungs. And where there is hope, faith follows. And where there is faith, miracles begin to flow. You may not see everything clearly yet, but you will. One day soon, you'll look back on this exact moment and say, that was the turning point. That was when everything began to change. Not because of some dramatic event, but because of the quiet surrender that opened your spirit to me again. That is the place where the miraculous begins, when you stop striving and start trusting. My promises don't expire with your mistakes. They don't disappear with your delays. They are sealed in my heart, and I fulfill them not because you earned them, but because I am faithful. My word does not return empty. If I said I would do it, I will, even if it takes longer than you expected, even if it comes through unfamiliar paths. I am still the same God who parts seas, calms storms, and calls the dead back to life. And I'm still doing those things, sometimes in ways you didn't expect, but always with your good in mind. So lift your eyes again. Don't bow your head in defeat. Watch what I am about to do. There will be signs, clear, undeniable signs that I have been with you all along. A restoration of relationships you thought were too far gone. A sudden opportunity you didn't see coming. A deep peace that replaces the panic. A dream resurrected in full color. These are not random moments. These are promises fulfilled. You didn't come this far by accident, and I didn't bring you this far just to let you stay stuck in cycles of questioning. I brought you here to reveal my faithfulness, to show you that I am who I say I am. And you, beloved, are who I say you are, called, chosen, and destined for more than you ever imagined. Now it's time to make this real. You've heard my voice stirring within your soul. You've felt the shift beginning. But now, beloved, I want you to walk it out. Faith is not just a feeling, it's a movement of trust. It's the decision to believe even when you can't yet see. It's choosing me again and again, not just in the big moments, but in the quiet, ordinary ones too. You don't need to wait for everything to feel perfect to begin. Begin now. Begin in the middle of your questions. Begin while your hands are still trembling. Faith doesn't erase the storm. It teaches you how to walk on water in the middle of it. You ask me how to move forward, how to align your life with my purpose, how to live the fullness I keep promising. And here is my answer. Come closer every day. Let me into your routines, not just your crises. Invite me into your mornings before the rush, your nights before the noise, your thoughts before they become worries. Faith begins in the secret places, where no one else sees, where the heart becomes honest, where pride is laid down, and intimacy is built. You don't need to become someone else before I can use you. I want to use you, right now, exactly where you are. You think you need more qualifications, more knowledge, more discipline. But all I ask is your yes. With one surrendered life, I can change families, generations, cities. I can transform fear into courage, wounds into wisdom, silence into songs. What you see as small, your story, your talents, your voice, is the very thing I want to breathe on and multiply. That conversation you were afraid to start, that idea you keep pushing aside, that longing in your heart you pretend not to feel, those are the seeds I've planted. It's time to water them with faith. Start with the little things. Begin your day by talking to me, not just when you're desperate, but as a rhythm of life. Let your thoughts return to me throughout the day like a gentle stream, not just in times of stress. Pause before you act. Breathe before you respond. Ask me, Lord, what are you doing here? How can I be part of it? Watch how your awareness of my presence changes the atmosphere around you. Watch how clarity comes, not all at once, but like the sun, rising behind the clouds. I want to be part of your decisions, not just the big ones, but the daily ones. Which door to walk through, which relationship to invest in, which step to take next. I'm not far off. I'm near. I care about your career, your finances, your health, your family, your mental peace. Not because I need you to perform, but because I love you in the wholeness of who you are. I care about your details. So many times you've separated the spiritual from the practical. But with me, there is no separation. I am in the job interview and the dinner table. I am in the heartbreak and the breakthrough. I am in the classroom and the kitchen, the hospital room and the highway. Invite me in. When you feel tired, ask me for strength. When you feel overwhelmed, ask me for perspective. When you feel joy, pause and thank me, and I will increase it. You might be thinking, but I've failed before. I've tried to follow you and I ended up falling again. I know, and I was there every time. Not to condemn you, but to lift you. You think I'm disappointed in your weakness, but I'm not. I rejoice when you return, again and again. Faith isn't about getting it right every time. It's about not giving up. It's about letting me carry you when you're too weak to stand. It's about believing that I'm still good even when life doesn't feel good. That's the kind of faith that moves mountains. Not loud, showy declarations, but quiet persistence in my presence. I want you to begin writing things down. Write the dreams I've placed in your heart. Write the moments where you sense me speaking. Write the scriptures that stir something inside you. This is not just journaling. It's prophecy. It's the unfolding of your future in ink and surrender. What you write in faith now will be your testimony later. These will be the stones of remembrance you come back to when your faith feels thin. And in those moments, you'll remember He spoke. He promised. He led. He never left. Let your life preach before your words ever do. Let love be your message. Let grace be your posture. Let peace be the fruit that grows even when life is chaotic. This is how my light shines through you. You don't need a stage to be effective. Your kindness in the workplace, your patience with your children, your compassion towards strangers, these are the sermons that reach hearts. These are the signs of faith that is real, grounded, and alive. You want to be used for something greater, and I've placed that desire in you. But don't despise small beginnings. Don't wait until it feels grand to call it purpose. The kingdom often starts small, a mustard seed, a whisper, a yes. This is where change begins. This is how destiny unfolds. You didn't come this far by accident. And now, I'm calling you to take what's been spoken into your spirit and live it out with intention, not with fear, not with pressure, but with joy, with me, every step. Let me speak directly to the core of who you are, because the world has tried to redefine you, and I'm here to restore the truth. You're not forgotten. You're not a mistake. You're not behind. You're not too late, too broken, too scattered, or too far gone. You are mine. You always have been. And the way I see you hasn't changed because of what you've been through. In fact, your wounds have not diminished your worth. They have refined your heart. And where you've seen damage, I see depth. Where you felt empty, I see space for me to fill. Where you've lost your way, I see the opening for me to lead. The voices that told you that you were not enough were lying. The pressure to always be better, faster, stronger, it's not from me. I'm not the one comparing you to others. I'm the one who shaped you with care, piece by piece, with intention. Before anyone had an opinion about who you should be, I already called you chosen, loved, set apart. You've forgotten the sound of my voice because the noise has been too loud. But I'm reminding you now. I never stopped calling you by your true name. You're not defined by what you lack. You're not limited by your past. You're not boxed in by people's expectations. I'm rewriting the inner narrative that's been looping in your mind for far too long. The one that tells you you're unworthy, overlooked, or destined to always struggle. That's not your identity. Your identity is found in me. And when you begin to see yourself through my eyes, everything begins to shift. Let me show you who you really are. You are resilient because I've walked with you through fire. You are compassionate because I allowed you to feel pain that grew your empathy. You are wise because you've been in situations that required discernment, even when no one noticed. You are strong not because you've never been weak, but because you chose to rise again and again with my strength holding you. You are not defined by your darkest days. They are only chapters, not the title of your life. You've been waiting for someone to see you, to validate you, to affirm what you carry. And while others may have missed it, I never did. I've always seen the gift in you, the beauty, the courage, the tenderness. Even when others looked at your life and only saw a mess, I saw the miracle in the making. And I'm telling you now, you don't need the world's permission to step into who you are. You already have mine. This restoration I'm doing isn't just about your circumstances. It's about you. It's about healing how you see yourself. It's about rebuilding your confidence from the ground up, not based on ego, but on truth. I'm taking your shame and replacing it with glory. I'm taking your regret and transforming it into wisdom. I'm taking your hiddenness and turning it into preparation for what's coming next. Nothing you've walked through will be wasted. Not one tear, not one moment of silence, not one why. I've counted them all, and they are the fabric of your testimony. I want you to remember who you were before life tried to bury you, before trauma, before betrayal, before the words that wounded your identity, that childlike wonder, that fierce faith, that joy that was unshakable. I'm restoring it. Not in the same form, but with deeper roots. You're not going back, you're going forward, but with healing in your wings. I'm not asking you to pretend you've never been broken. I'm telling you that your healing will be the mark of my glory on your life. You will speak from a place of knowing. You will move with quiet authority, not because of a title, but because of your time with me. You will walk into rooms and bring peace, because peace will no longer just be a concept. It will live inside of you. You will no longer question your value. You will no longer silence your voice to keep others comfortable. You will no longer dim your light out of fear of rejection. I am restoring your boldness, not as arrogance, but as a reflection of confidence in me. the one who made you on purpose, for purpose. You've been through things that tried to crush you, but I see the strength that remained. I see the gentleness that refused to harden. I see the hunger for truth, even when you didn't understand what I was doing. And I honor that. Yes, I, the Lord of Heaven, honor you because I see what others never could. I've walked with you in secret places. I know what it cost you to keep believing, and I will not let that faith go unrewarded. You're not starting over from nothing. You're starting from experience, from depth, from wisdom. You've got spiritual roots now. You're not easily shaken. And though you may not feel like a warrior, you are one. The fact that you're still standing, still reaching, still hoping, that is evidence of my spirit alive in you. And I'm about to use you in ways that will surprise even you. Not because you're perfect, but because you're willing. Let me restore what was lost. Let me rebuild what was broken. Let me remind you of the beauty of simply being you, fully alive in me, no longer shrinking, no longer hiding, no longer striving to be enough. You already are. You didn't come this far by accident. I brought you here to reveal not just my plan, but your identity, to show you who you are when you stand in the light of my truth. And beloved, you are radiant. Now that your heart is opening and your spirit is awakening, I want to teach you how to stay rooted in what I'm building inside of you. You've begun to feel the shift, the restoration, the purpose rising. But this isn't meant to be a passing feeling. This is meant to become your foundation. And for that to happen, I need you to walk with me, not just in moments of inspiration, but in rhythms of surrender. This is where your strength will grow, not in striving harder, but in staying close. Start with prayer, not as a task, not as a performance. Just talk to me. Speak to me like a friend, like a father, like the one who knows your heart, even when your words are missing. You don't need fancy phrases. You don't need long sessions unless your heart longs to linger. Just be real with me. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me where it hurts. Tell me what you don't understand. Then listen, not always with your ears, but with your spirit. I speak in quiet ways, through thoughts you didn't expect, through peace that suddenly settles you, through scriptures that seem to leap off the page. Speaking of scripture, come back to my word, not as a duty, but as life. My words are not ancient ink on old paper. They are alive. They breathe. They correct gently. They comfort deeply. They strengthen invisibly. When you open the Bible, don't rush. Ask me, where should I go today? And I'll lead you. Maybe to a psalm that speaks directly to your pain. Maybe to a gospel where my son's love breaks through your shame. Maybe to a quiet passage in Isaiah or a letter from Paul, where truth will cut through confusion like a blade of light. And don't worry if you don't understand everything. You're not reading to impress me. You're reading to find me. Even just a few verses, when absorbed with an open heart, can anchor your day. My spirit will teach you over time. The truth will begin to rise in you like a wellspring. And when the storms come, and they will, it will be my word that holds you fast. Not your willpower, not your intellect. My word. Create space for me in your daily rhythm. It doesn't have to look religious. Maybe it's a worship song while you drive. Maybe it's 5 minutes of silence before the sun rises. Maybe it's writing down what I whisper to you in a notebook that becomes sacred ground between us. What matters is that you pause, that you remember, I'm not just a part of your life. I am your life. And when you make room for me, I fill it with presence. Peace, power, perspective. Guard your heart. You don't need to absorb every opinion, every voice, every fear that the world throws at you. Turn down the noise. Don't feed your spirit with things that numb your soul. Choose conversations that build, not drain. Choose media that uplifts, not pollutes. Choose time and environments where my voice isn't drowned out by chaos. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. What you feed grows. And I want your spirit to grow strong, not just your emotions to be stirred for a moment. Forgive. This is hard, but essential. Not because others deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. Unforgiveness clogs your spirit. It chokes the flow of joy. It binds your heart to pain that I already died to remove. When you release others, you release yourself. I'm not asking you to forget. I'm asking you to let me heal. And as you do, watch how light returns to the places that were once darkened by bitterness. Worship, not just in music, but in your posture. Let gratitude be your worship. Let humility be your worship. Let kindness be your worship. When your heart lifts even the smallest thanks toward me, heaven draws near. Worship shifts atmospheres. It recalibrates your soul to my truth. Even when you're hurting, especially when you're hurting, lift your voice. Not because your circumstances changed, but because your God hasn't. I'm still worthy. And when you fix your eyes on me, your fear begins to shrink. And here's what I want you to know most of all. I'm not keeping score. I'm walking beside you. You don't have to earn intimacy with me. You already have access. You don't have to chase perfection to hear my voice. You just have to be present. The more time you spend with me, the more natural it becomes. Not as a rule, but as a rhythm. Not from pressure, but from love. This is where transformation begins, not in trying harder, but in staying closer. Take time this week to read even one chapter. Let's start simple. Psalm 139. Read it slowly. Read it like I wrote it directly to you, because I did. Let the truth that I searched you, formed you, see you, surround you, sink deep. You are fully known, fully loved, fully covered. And pray this: God, teach me how to walk with you, not just when I'm desperate, but every day. Help me to recognize your presence. Help me to trust your process. Give me ears to hear you, eyes to see you, and a heart that is tender toward your voice. That's where it begins, with a willing heart. And when your heart is open, I can do anything. You didn't come this far by accident. And now, with the right tools, you will go further than you imagined. Not because the path is easy, but because you're no longer walking it alone. Now listen closely, beloved. I'm not just speaking general truth anymore. I'm speaking directly into your now, into the very situation that has been weighing on your chest, the one you've been too tired or afraid to voice aloud. The shift is not just coming. It has already begun. You may not feel it yet, but in the spirit realm, something has been activated. This moment marks the beginning of a divine unraveling, where the things that once entangled you start to lose their grip, and the doors that once stayed locked begin to move. I'm giving you a prophetic glimpse of what is just ahead, not to tease your hope, but to anchor it, because I never start something I don't intend to finish. You've been in a season of quiet obedience, of hidden faithfulness, of walking forward even when the map wasn't clear. And I have seen every step. Not one has gone unnoticed. I have heard your whispered yes. I have gathered your tears. I have recorded your sacrifice. And now, the reward of the righteous is on its way, not because you demanded it, but because I delight to give it. There is a turnaround coming. Yes, you've heard that before, but this time, it's not coming from another person's testimony. This time, it's yours. The story is shifting, and I'm handing you the pen. No longer will your identity be tied to the pain of the past. No longer will you be the one who always carries the weight while others run free. No longer will you be last, overlooked, or forgotten. I am reversing the order. I am restoring the years the locusts have eaten. I am lifting the delay. I am accelerating what was promised. What should have taken years will begin to unfold in months. What seemed impossible will come into alignment effortlessly. Because this time, it's not by might, not by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord. Watch me align divine appointments, unexpected messages, conversations that lead to opportunities, sudden clarity where confusion once reigned, that nudge to revisit something you once shelved. Follow it. That idea you had but didn't feel qualified to pursue, reignite it. I am breathing life into the areas you thought were dead. Your gifts are about to make room for you, not by force, but by favor. I am bringing people who carry the keys you need. But you must stay sensitive. Stay open. Do not retreat now. This is not the season to shrink back. This is the season to rise. I'm also shifting things in relationships. Where there has been misalignment, I am bringing clarity. Some connections may fall away, and you must not mourn what I remove. If it walks away now, it was not part of what's next. But I will not leave you empty. For every relationship that closes, I will bring one rooted in truth, mutual honor, and spiritual alignment. I'm restoring friendships that sharpen you, not drain you. Connections that confirm your purpose, not confuse it. And there's healing, deep cellular healing. Emotional pain that you've carried for so long you forgot what it felt like to live without it. That is ending. I'm going to surprise you with how free you feel. You'll begin to notice the absence of that ache that once woke with you. The grief will lift. The anxiety will fade. The fear will weaken. Not because you fought harder, but because I stepped in fully. This is not emotional hype. This is spiritual reality. And you're about to live from a healed place, not a hurting one. Even financially, I'm making a way. Where you've struggled, where there's been lack, I am sending provision. But not just provision to cover the bills. I'm talking about vision-level resources. I'm releasing the means to build, to create, to give, to establish what I've placed in your heart. Some streams will come through unusual sources. Don't dismiss them. I use whatever I want to bless my children. Be ready. Keep your hands open. Be a steward, not a struggler. What I give is not to enslave you. It's to empower you. There's one more thing I need you to hear. You are stepping into a season of visibility, where once you were hidden, you will now be seen. Not for attention, but for impact. I've kept you in the shadows to protect you, to develop your roots. But now your fruit is ready, and when people taste it, they won't just see you, they'll see me. They'll feel something holy, something real, something they didn't know they were starving for. That's the kind of vessel I've been shaping you into. So, child of my heart, lift your head. Stand tall, not in pride, but in identity. The clouds are parting, the winds are shifting, the season is turning. It's no longer just a promise, it's time for fulfillment. What once felt far is drawing near. What you almost let go of is returning, but stronger, more stable, rooted in me. You didn't come this far by accident. I led you here with precision, with love, with eternal purpose. And what comes next will not just bless you, it will bless through you. This is the rise. This is the release. This is the time. Now, beloved, be still. Just for a moment, let everything else fade. The questions, the noise, the rush. Let it all go. Because right here, right now, I want to meet you. Not just in thought, not just in words, but in presence. My spirit is drawing near. Not as a concept, not as a feeling, but as a holy reality so tangible that if you'll pause and open your heart, you'll feel me wrap around you like a blanket on a cold night. I'm here, and I've been waiting for this moment with you. This is more than encouragement. This is encounter. I'm coming close to you in ways that will leave no doubt. You have been touched by heaven. The things that once bound you will begin to fall away without a fight. Not because you figured everything out, but because I stepped into the room of your heart. This is how transformation truly happens, not through pressure or fear or striving, but through my presence. I do the deepest work in the stillest spaces. Let me into the locked rooms of your soul, the parts you've hidden for years, maybe even from yourself, the memories you've buried, the mistakes you've worn like shame, the beliefs about yourself that don't come from me. Open them to me. I'm not here to accuse, I'm here to heal. I'm not afraid of your darkness. I'm not shocked by your doubt. I'm not overwhelmed by your pain. I've already borne it. And now I come as the comforter, the counselor, the restorer of what you thought was lost forever. Take a deep breath. Feel that? That's not just emotion, that's me. I'm closer than your skin. I'm awakening your spirit to a new awareness of my nearness. I'm not only around you, I'm within you. I'm bringing light into places that haven't known joy in years. I'm softening the ground of your heart that's grown hard out of self-protection. I'm pouring oil on wounds that were never meant to stay open this long. This is a divine encounter, not because of anything you've done, but because of who I am, and because of how much I love you. You're not merely being encouraged, you're being reconstructed. Old mindsets are being undone. Scar tissue is being peeled away. You're beginning to feel again, not the raw pain, but the first hints of joy, of freedom, of safety in my arms. This is the place where true healing takes root, not on the surface, but in the places that only I can touch. Let me change the way you see yourself. Let me rebuild your identity, not on what others said or what life tried to label you with, but on what I declare. You are my child. You are my joy. You are worthy of love, not because of what you do, but because of who you are to me. I made you. I know you. I delight in you. Yes, even now. This is the encounter that shifts your story, from fear to faith, from shame to confidence, from hiding to purpose. It won't all change overnight, but something is breaking open right now in the spirit. Something inside you is waking up. And what once felt impossible will soon feel inevitable, because when my spirit breathes on a life, nothing stays the same. There is a fresh anointing being poured over you now. I'm equipping you for what's coming, not just with tools, but with power. The power to discern what's of me and what's not. The power to walk in peace no matter the storm. The power to love when others shut down. The power to step into rooms and shift the spiritual climate without saying a word. That's what my presence does. It transforms from the inside out. Let me go with you, not just now, but tomorrow morning when you wake up. Let me meet you in the in-between moments, when you're washing dishes, driving to work, sitting alone in silence. I'm not just the God of the sacred, I'm the God of the everyday. I want to make your ordinary moments holy. I want to breathe my spirit into your routine until it becomes a rhythm of heaven on earth. Pray this with me now, even quietly in your heart. Holy Spirit, I welcome you. I don't want just a touch. I want transformation. Come into every part of me. Heal what's broken, restore what's missing, silence what's false, and awaken what's true. I surrender control, and I give you full access to my life. Lead me, fill me, stay with me. I'm yours. And I will answer that prayer, not with delay, but with power. You are not the same as you were before you began this conversation. Something holy has shifted. And though the world around you may look the same tomorrow, you won't be. Because my spirit is now awakened within you in a deeper, more tangible way. This is the beginning of a new flow, a new grace, a new level of intimacy with me. You didn't come this far by accident. I've brought you into this moment so that what was once fractured can now be whole, so that the dry places of your spirit can become wells of living water, and from this encounter, everything begins to change. Now here we are together at the edge of something sacred. You've walked with me through pain, through promises, through the unveiling of purpose, and now you stand at the threshold of newness. Not a vague idea, not wishful thinking, but a true divine beginning. I've been leading you here with purpose. Every word whispered into your spirit, every moment of quiet conviction, every tear you've cried while no one else was watching. It is all built to this. You're not who you were when this began, and you will never be the same again. This is your moment of crossing over. You've survived long enough. You've carried enough. You've questioned enough. Now it's time to step into the fullness of who I say you are. Let the old identity fall off. Let the old wounds breathe in my healing light. Let the doubts give way to divine clarity. You are not an accident. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are exactly where I've drawn you, into this moment, into my presence, into the story I've always been writing, even when you couldn't read the lines. The world told you to be strong on your own. I'm telling you to be strong in me. Let me be your covering. Let me be your defender. Let me be the one who proves every word I've spoken over you, because I will. My name is Faithful, and my love for you doesn't change when your emotions do. I am constant. I am steady. I am holy, and I am here. Beloved, what you felt while reading these words is not temporary emotion. It is the voice of the living God awakening your spirit. I've stirred the soil of your soul, and now I will begin to plant and grow things you thought were long dead. This isn't the end of something beautiful. It's the birth of something eternal. You may not have seen this day coming, but I did. You may have started this journey unsure, uncertain, even skeptical, but I've been patient with you, speaking gently, drawing you closer. And now, I ask you to respond, not just with understanding, but with surrender. Give me your whole heart, not just the good parts, not just the polished faith. Bring me your disappointment, your brokenness, your doubt. I want all of you, because I can only transform what you're willing to release. You didn't come this far by accident. Every detour was a redirection. Every loss was a seed. Every moment of confusion was a setup for revelation. And now, I'm handing you the key to unlock what's next. Walk through the door. Say yes. Not with fear, but with faith. Not with striving, but with stillness. I'm going ahead of you. I'm already on the other side of the decision you're afraid to make. I'm already in the future, preparing the way. You're not alone. You never were. Now I want you to make this declaration, not to impress me, but to awaken yourself to the truth of what has just happened in your spirit. If this message spoke to your heart, if my voice broke through your silence, then say it aloud. Type it here. Declare it over your life. I receive. Yes, say it. Not as a reaction, but as a decision, as a holy agreement with everything I've spoken to your soul. I receive healing. I receive clarity. I receive restoration. I receive my purpose. I receive my identity in you, God. And now, go. Share what you've received. Speak life where others speak fear. Carry peace where others carry confusion. Be the light you've always longed to see in the world. You don't need a title to be used. You only need to say yes. Because through you I will move. Through you I will touch others. Through your simple obedience, I will change lives. This is your time. This is your confirmation. This is your commission. You didn't come this far by accident. I led you here with purpose, and I'm not done yet. Omian. If this word spoke to you, write it now. I receive. Share this message with someone you love. You might be the vessel I use to transform another heart.